Another thing that I want to mention that has happened, and I never imagined that one day I would see happening, is that they have destroyed the family.
Mm-hmm.
They, I remember when I was growing up, the father was the head of the family, the grandparent were there. You know, we had the family unit with that order of God and Christ, Christ and man, man and woman, woman over children. That's gone now, and you can hardly find, especially in the black community, but not only now, you can hardly find a family where the father's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he's there, he doesn't have an authority. You know, his wife running the family, running him, and so he still don't have that strength there that we had when I was growing up. The family has been destroyed, and when
Yeah.
you destroy the family like that, the kids don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. So we got to restore the family that was
Don't you
created
think
by
we have to?
God.
I mean, you say it all the time. The male has been destroyed. You
Yes.
know, they used to when I first started my show. They was always all the time calling me a man hater and this and that. But I was just talking. What I was trying not to be a man hater
Yeah.
because they were all having a family with no man in it at all. But I wanted to show a family with a mother and father who, both work together for the, with love for the benefit of their family, and the way I thought at the time. It was
Yes.
different than now, but I think we got to do something with the men now, and I'm so mad at the men because I don't know why they gave up so easy. I mean, maybe they're afraid. Maybe it's because women are increasingly more violent to them. I always see women beating men's butt. When I would go on stage in Austin, I'm telling you, I would say, I mean, I had a couple of drinks and I was loose, but I said, how many men here are getting their butts beat by their wives or girlfriends? Because I just know it's huge numbers because the
Yeah.
women are excused for their violence every minute, every day. I can't stand it.
Yes.
But you wouldn't believe how many men started applauding. It was shocking and sad. This was in Austin too. And I go, why are you putting up with these women doing like this? Why are you doing that? Why are you letting them do that to you? Why are they letting them do it?
Yeah. You know, I totally agree with you. When I first start asking that question, how many of you guys allow women to beat up on you? Why? I was stunned at the number of men who are getting beat up by their girlfriends or wives or live-in, and the men won't do anything. They're afraid to. And now they're telling me that they're afraid to react because they might go to jail.
They will.
Well, they
Because
might.
all the woman has to say is, "Oh, he hit me,"
Yeah.
or "He was verbal abusive," and the man is not even given a chance because the court is not for the man; they're only on the side of the woman, and so a lot of men are afraid. But what's
Well,
really
but they're not just on the side of the women. I think they're on the side of whoever is wrong. They're just on the side of the wrong.
yeah, but and then again, but the real deal is they're afraid of their mothers.
I think so.
When they were growing up, their mother was angry, and she would impose her will on the kids.
I was kidding. I can speak on this, Jesse. No,
You better
no.
not.
I will say it is a lot of the feminists because I was born in '78, so I grew up in the '80s and '90s, and I can answer this question why guys put up with this shit. Is we basically were told in first grade, second grade, third grade, and so on from
Yeah.
every angle, from television, from teachers, basically that if you're a man, your job is to keep quiet. Don't push, don't fight back. You're a toxic male, and it got worse. I used to talk about this all the time,
Yeah.
and it's men now. They're pussies, but I think they're doing it also because they have to. If they stand
Yeah.
up,
They're
they're
kind of
done.
forced into it.
It's just
Well-
the state. It's just the way it is, and I
Well,
want
what
to
it
change.
is, they're afraid of the spirit of their mothers. They were to face their mothers and forgive them for the mother imposing a will on them and turning them away from their fathers. I promise you, if they would face their mother, the hardest thing in the world for the average man to do is to go to his mother and say, "Mother, I have been resenting you, angry at you all of my life because you imposed your will on me. You turned me away from my father, and now I feel like something is missing. The love of a father is missing. I can't find my identity. If they face their mother and forgive them and forgive the father for not protecting them from the mother, the fear would be gone and they would be able to deal with every human being in the same way with no fear and with perfect love. And love is not a feeling, but we'll get into that later, but with perfect love. But if they don't overcome the spirit of the mother, they're never going to be able to deal with those spirits in other women, because every woman they get involved with, you become attracted to what you hate. So every woman they get involved with is mama. And so the guy end up becoming the boy, and,
Yeah.
and the wife end up becoming the mama, and the cycle repeats itself. But they
100%.
got to face mama and let the anger go so they can be free of the spirit of the mother. That's what the problem is.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't you heal? Didn't you have to heal, Jesse, from your relationship with your mother? Is very toxic in your early days, right?
100%. And I didn't know it until I finally asked God to let me see and understand. My mother and my father were dating when they were like 18, 19. And my mother got pregnant. And she went and she told my father, "Hey, I'm pregnant." And he's like, "No, you can't be pregnant." And he thought that she couldn't get, because they had sex standing up. And so he thought that you couldn't get pregnant if you had sex standing up. Isn't that amazing?
Sorry to laugh. That's amazing. Whoop.
And I used to think the same thing growing up, because that's what they would tell us, that you cannot make a baby standing up. So when I started dating, whenever I would have sex with my girlfriend, I would have her stand up if I could. Because I thought,
Sorry to laugh. I've never heard this. This
Yeah.
is news to
don't
me.
be sorry. It is funny, man, but that was the thinking at the time. And my mother's like, "What are you talking about? I'm pregnant." But my father totally denied it. And from that point forward, she became angry at him and didn't want anything to do with him. And so what happened was she got married before I was born to another guy, my stepfather, who was an amazing father. You know, he was really nice to me. But I didn't accept him, though, because I had a yearning for my natural father. But and so she tried to keep me away from him. And I resented her for that. But I didn't know it as a kid that I resented her for that. Because I would ask her, "Where's my dad?" And my grandmother would sneak around and let my father come to see me, my real father, right?
Oh,
But she got mad at him. And as a result, I was mad at her and I became just like her. I lived in my imagination. I was very emotional. I couldn't deal with women in the right way. I was afraid to stand up to them. But when I moved to LA, and at about the age of 38, I was going to different churches. I would read the Bible. I was giving tithe and offering and doing everything, volunteer, but nothing was helping me. I still had fear. I still had the anger. So I finally asked God to let me see myself. I'm like, "What's wrong with me? I still have this fear, very emotional. I can't deal with women in the right way." And God allowed me to see that I resented my mother. He just allowed me to see it. And it was holding me back in life. He allowed me to see that. And I'm like,
how did
wow.
that work? Was it just in an instant, or what did it take a time?
It was in an instant.
Oh,
And it didn't happen the moment I asked God to let me see myself. But what happened was, one day I was getting up, getting dressed, and I'm in the mirror, and I saw inside of me a quick glance. And inside of me was a dark spirit. And it was not like the night spirit. It was like a wicked spirit. Those kind of spirit that come through your door when you're sleeping in the bedroom,
Yeah.
and the spirits are kind of flying around in the whatever dark clothes. It was like that, and I saw that in me, and I didn't know I had that in me. And I'm like, "What the?" And
That's scary.
what did you do?
and so it just happened at a glance, and I knew I had to go and forgive my mother. And so she came to LA to visit her sister, and I'm driving over there, 38 years old now. I'm driving
wow.
over there, and fear just overtook me. I could barely breathe. And I'm like, "Why am I so afraid to go and tell my mother I'm sorry for resenting her?" And I realized that because I resented her, I had fear of her. I couldn't be honest with her. I couldn't correct her. I couldn't disagree because of the fear. And so I get there, and I had to walk up 3 little steps, 2 or 3 little steps at the house. I went in. she's sitting there having fun with her sister. They're laughing. You know how black women laugh real loud. And, and they were
Jewish
having
ladies
fun.
do too.
Yeah, Jewish women.
Yeah,
Just little. I
you're
can tell.
right.
Yeah.
And so the devil telling me, oh, you can't talk to her now. You're going to mess up her vacation. But I knew I had to forgive her so I could be free. And I called into the room away from the family. And I told her all of my life, I have been resenting you because you tried to turn me away from my father. And I resented you for that. And I realize now you cannot help yourself. So I'm sorry for resenting you. And my life changed. And it has never been the same since.
Wow.
It just
Well,
been,
wait, I gotta hear what did she say when you said that?
she started crying and she apologized. And
Wow.
she said to me, I'm really sorry. I didn't know I had done that to you. And then the first time in my life, she told me about her life and exactly what she had done to me. My grandmother, her mother, had done that to her. And she resented her mother. And I never knew that. I thought my grandmother was an angel sent by God. But my mother resented her mother because her mother did the same thing to her, imposed on her, tried to keep her away from her father and all that. And she told me about her life and exactly what she did to me was done to her. And it just goes on from generation to generation.